with them just yet. So, anyways, game 2, we've got QXC spawning in the north part of this map as the purple Terran, and down in the south is EG.IdrA or IdrA, depends on how you want to pronounce it. Really, for me, it depends on the day. I switch back and forth a lot of the times. But he's down here spawning as the Army Green Zerg. Now, taking a look at this map, in the center of the map you see a lot of different level of terrains, and it's very hard for Zerg to sometimes deal with this just because you could put a tank on one side, the Lings have to run all the way around to actually get to it. The game really changes once mutas get out because you can deal with them very well, and sometimes you see a lot of Zerg players actually going roachling on this map. So we'll have to see what IdrA does. I think generally he just favors mutas in this matchup. We'll have to see if he's playing to the map or playing to the matchup.
I really like this map, even in this TVZ matchup. I've seen some players like Spanishiwa really actually excel at this map. If you get some Infestors and Broodlords and things like that, suddenly it's very hard for a Terran player to be able to deal with that terrain. And Broodlords, especially with all this, there's like open area around the natural of each player. There's all those elevation changes, and Broodlords just... if you look at the Xel'Naga Tower, for example, there's that little gap between those two platforms. If you've got Broodlords and control the Xel'Naga Tower, it can be very hard for a Terran player to get Marines or any sort of anti-air over there fast enough, unless he just masses Vikings. And even then, Broodlords can just scoot back, let Infestors drop Fungals, and Hydralisks do their thing. And terrain can work both ways. It's just up to the player to actually figure out some clever ways to use it. QXC is a player that loves doing the bunker rushes and transition into Hellions and things like that. He's a very anti-worker TVZ player, but really the mid-game is where he's going to have to do a lot of damage to try and stay even with IdrA on bases. On Shakura's Plateau, for example, he had that contain going for a long time, and as soon as it broke, IdrA went up to 4 bases and took that commanding supply lead, so QXC can't really let that happen this time around. He's going to need to be a bit even more aggressive than he already was.
Yeah, I mean, and if he can do that, it's definitely going to be on a map like this. He is opening 2 racks, so we will be seeing some aggression. IdrA, however, knows that aggression kind of works on this map, so he went gas first. He will have gas immediately upon that spawning pool finishing, as we do see there. He pulled off all of his drones, and he'll eventually throw down a hatchery at his at his natural here very soon. He's actually already sending a couple of drones from his main here, as he does see the Marine and SCV hand in hand. He's going to pull those back, though, as the Lings are out. QXC probably going to be caught a little bit by surprise here.
Interesting, yeah. IdrA definitely going to stop any bunkers from being placed with these first 4 Lings. He's going to need some more. There are actually 2 more join him up, and this hatchery will be placed as soon as he hits 300 minerals, it looks like. He actually did stop harvesting gas, even though he started to there briefly. Oh, he did actually get enough for metabolic boost. That makes more sense, but QXC, now with 3 Marines and 2 SCVs, I think 6 Lings might be able to actually take this out. He focuses the SCVs first, and now it's just a lone Marine trying to do some damage, but IdrA, of course, not going to let that happen. And suddenly this is looking very grim for QXC's early aggression plan.
Yep, the nice thing about this opener is speed is just about to finish, so you can catch some Marines if they are coming cross map still, even after the 2 racks opener. Some pretty good control, though, from QXC, as he actually will take out all of those Lings. 2 are still there. Speed does just finish. IdrA's going to go ahead and produce 4 more, but in the meantime, I would suspect he's just going to continue to drone up right after that. Very close to being supply cap. Second Queen about to pop here. He's going to use that to spread the creep tumor, then send it over to the natural, as that hatchery is almost complete. In the meantime, QXC has started his command center back in his main. He's also throwing down 2 gas as well, so we are going to be seeing some tech here in probably a couple minutes as soon as he gets 100 gas. QXC, okay, I thought he was actually going to throw down an early 3rd, but it looks like he's just scouting here on the far left side of the map.
Yep, and the next building I expect to see from QXC will be that factory into starport, obviously, for medevacs, but if he doesn't get Blue Flame Hellions, I'll actually be shocked, as this map is a pretty good one for Blue Flame Hellions. There's a lot of room at that natural where you can sneak into that drone line. Drops can be very potent here as well on the top or on the right side of IdrA's main. There's also those destructible rocks that QXC, if the game lasts long enough, QXC could actually make some use there as well, but IdrA dropping a Roach Horn inside of his main now, still just happily making drones and overlords, all those macro tools. QXC does get the factory started now, and his command center will be done in just a moment. He can get that on over to the natural and catch up with IdrA on worker count, where IdrA's actually only barely ahead right now, 27 to 23.
Also like that IdrA kind of put that roach warren off to the side. It will not be scanned if he does just scan straight on top of that hatchery. In the meantime, QXC did move out and chase some lings away. Looks like he's going to throw down some bunkers at his natural and get that command center up in the air so it can land at the natural and get that saturated as well. Roaches beginning to be produced there as 5 of them are queued up with a couple of lings. This is what I was talking to earlier. A lot of times Zerg players tend to get roaches instead of mutas on this map to open up with, and then eventually they'll go ahead and get those mutas out later on in the game.
Yeah, and stream viewers, don't be alarmed. This is not any sort of like roach speedling all in that we've seen IdrA do. He's just massing units in case of a big attack from QXC. He's still going to be making drones after this. I mean, he got up to 30 drones, and if it was an all-in sort of attack, he would have cut probably around 23 or 27. So he's just trying to cover all his bases here, making sure QXC won't be able to sneak in with any Hellions or Marine attacks here in this early mid-game. But we see Lings actually looping around to the left side. We've got the roaches coming in from the bottom, so IdrA might actually trap these Marines. Oh my god.
No.
He actually manages to stall the Marines. They're not going to reach the bunker. The Hellion is getting in on the action, but a lot of those Marines just fell. He does safely get into the bunker, but this is a lot of roaches. IdrA could actually do quite a bit of damage here. QXC pulling all the SCVs off the line. I think this bunker might actually fall. The Hellions desperately trying to help out, but they just don't do very much to roaches at all. SCVs falling left and right. More Lings showing up here, and IdrA actually, I didn't think this attack was going to be much, but he actually caught QXC so well with that run by with the Lings and trapped those Marines, and this is actually looking pretty good for IdrA all in all.
Yeah, it's really a combination of things. It was the fact that he caught him off guard with those Lings, but at the same time we had 2 racks that were having those reactors built. One of them had the tech lab being built. The starport was doing the old swapperoo to that tech lab, and the factory's only producing Hellions, which typically do not fare that well to roaches whatsoever. So IdrA is continuing to just reinforce this as Lings and roaches stream across the map, and QXC is in a really, really bad spot right now. We do have some Banshees about to pop out, but those SCVs are really what IdrA is going to have to focus on here, because he will, of course, lose these roaches and Lings, but it's going to take quite some time for a single Banshee to do all of that damage.
Yeah, and IdrA back at home, getting up to lair, getting 10 drones built right now. If he doesn't end the game here, he will eventually, just because of this huge economic gain that he's getting from getting all these drones up. QXC's economy is basically in shambles right now. IdrA's up by 30 supply. It's 37 drones against 24 SCVs. QXC has no mining time at his natural right now, even with that mule that he just called down. So IdrA got to be happy with this, even if he doesn't just flat out win the game. Banshee is actually racking up some kills. It's up to 10, and QXC might actually have to run his SCVs away even in the main. IdrA has stopped producing some fighting units for the time being, but again, with that big economic lead, it's only a matter of time in my opinion.
Yeah, more and more Lings are actually streaming across the map right now. IdrA probably, he might just fall back after the remaining few forces do die. He does have Lair about to finish there, or it actually is finished. He did not add on the 2 extractors at his natural, so he's going to be kind of low in the gas count if he does decide to throw down that Spire, which it looks like he is actually putting down in the mineral line of his natural. Hasn't secured a 3rd just yet. We do see a huge force of Lings over on the left-hand side, and QXC is going to have to really rebuild this before actually securing his natural. It's very, very susceptible to Ling runs by, as we see right here. A ton of Marines actually out for QXC as he does micro them back. He's easily going to take care of all those Lings from IdrA, as IdrA will send this one remaining Ling into the mineral line in the main base of QXC. But in the meantime, IdrA's probably just going to drone up, and as soon as those mutas get out, it's going to be even harder for QXC to deal with. QXC trying to put some pressure on with these Banshees, sees the Queens, and he will have to fall back.
I'm actually very surprised. QXC is supply blocked right now, but he's actually pretty close in supply, a lot closer than I thought he would be able to achieve after all those roaches basically had their way with his mineral lines. IdrA does have good placements on these spore crawlers. He's got one in the main mineral line as well, so even if he is out of range of the Banshees with the spore crawler, he still has that detection going on, so the Queens can try and get an assist. Is he going to focus down this Roach Horn? I don't know if QXC's even microing. Yeah, he loses one Banshee before he realizes it. Now he's actually in sort of a safe area between Spore Crawlers. No anti-air can really see him right now. And IdrA, oh, he actually is under detection range right now. And all these Marines just came in here to the natural and killed a bunch of drones and a Spore Crawler. Oh my god, so QXC actually getting some damage dealt here, trying to even up the supply, trying to even up the worker count. He actually managed to kill about 10 workers in that little attack, but the Mutas pop. They are going to be able to finish off these Marines before the Spire gets killed off. They're going to finish off this other Banshee as well, and IdrA essentially just needs to rebuild some drones, but QXC actually did a lot more damage with that little Marine Banshee combo than I thought he'd be able to.
Yep, 46 drones for IdrA right now, 36 SCVs for QXC. We've also got 8 mutas out on the map, and IdrA's already sending those towards QXC's base. Missile turrets are just now starting. I don't think they're actually going to finish in time. We do have a handful of Marines, though, that could definitely do some damage. At least keep the mutas busy until those missile turrets finish. And they are about to... Well, it looks like he took out one of the SCVs building them. The other missile turret does go down. Hopping over into the main base, there's only 2 turrets. They are pretty well spread out, so IdrA's not going to be able to take free reign onto these tech labs attached to the racks or the starport, as well as that reactor onto the racks. IdrA could definitely QXC could definitely make this an actual game from this point on out, simply because this map is kind of harder to deal with for Zergs, which might have been why IdrA did that opener that we just saw. I think IdrA's looking to take his third right now. They're on the left side of the map. In the meantime, QXC somewhat hesitant to move out with these Marines and lone medevac.
Well, he already took a third down in the bottom right corner. That would actually be fourth if he can manage to hang on to it long enough. And the fact that he's got these mutas in the sky right now, very near QXC's base, of course, he's not going to let up on that long enough for QXC to go kill those hatcheries. QXC is trying to loop around to the right side now. Actually, he might snag a couple of muta kills. No, not quite in the perfect position, but he's going to continue heading down to the bottom right. IdrA's going to respond in kind with a lot of speedlings and banelings. Soon he's going to have that perfect baneling-ling Mutalisk composition that he loves to do against Terran players, and QXC doesn't really have enough tanks or turrets on the map to be able to defend against it, so he is going to lose a lot of Marines here. Those banelings just smash right in and kill off everything. Suddenly this supply difference is even bigger than it's been the entire game. 30 supply ahead now for IdrA.
Yeah, I mean, it might start to spiral out of control. The more mutas that IdrA starts to tack on, the deadlier they really become. And mutas, once you hit around that 20 mark, like I was saying in the previous game, almost become impossible to deal with because their volleys just do so much damage, especially against Marines with low upgrades at this stage in the game. In the meantime, though, he's got to try to get his third up, as the hatchery does indeed finish. Also, a fourth base just finishing as well, and the third's pretty much already saturated. Did not see that one in the bottom right-hand corner. QXC is still in this, obviously. He does have a third command center building. Also has a bunch of tanks, but that last attack was just very, very easily taken out by IdrA with the banelings as well as the lings getting the surround behind the Marines, making sure the banelings could actually connect.
Yeah, really both players just adding on to their current compositions. I do see an armory coming for QXC now, so we could potentially get some Thors out here soon to help against these mutas, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Even Thors are prone to that magic box technique, and all the speedlings that IdrA continues to produce can wrap up a Thor pretty quickly. So IdRA's still just bouncing around. He's got this sweet spot right in the middle of QXC's main where he can just bounce in, kill an add-on, run away. QXC really needs to throw up a turret or two over there, I think, just to save himself some hassle.
Yeah, I mean, the armory did just finish. Might see a Thor pop out of one of those factories. I think there's only one factory, but in the meantime, IdrA is getting closer and closer to that 200 supply limit because he is on 4 base. He has so many mutas here. QXC actually moving out. IdrA was trying to snipe one of those tanks. A full stem onto all those Marines is actually going to do more damage than IdrA could ever dream of with those Mutalisk. And now he's just going to pick off 4 lone Marines that got split from the pack.
Ouch.
He could maybe pick off this medevac if it doesn't join up with that force in time. He does get a couple shots onto it. But IdrA is just being very, very, very annoying with these Mutalisk, as he should be, cutting off any supplies.
Oh,
He
man.
also has a huge, huge force of Banelings and Lings back at his home base.
That transfer of SCVs was horrible by QXC. He just lost about 10 SCVs trying to transfer over to that fourth base, or third base, excuse me. IdrA's the one working on 4 bases, but he's trying to get that planetary fortress up. He did siege up just outside of it. He's building some turrets now, but the Lings wrapping up these tanks right as they unsiege. All the Banelings rolling in now as well. Those speed Banes. QXC trying to do some splits and still loses scores of Marines.
EG.IdrA taking out QXC 2-0. I felt like QXC was just playing from behind in both of those games, especially after he broke that contain in the first match. But nonetheless, that was a good game from IdrA. He will be advancing on into round 3 here. And let's take a look at the bracket, see what other games have been played. We have Hash taking out LZ Gamer. That was a 2-0. Bubbles, this is a game that was played far earlier today.